Hi, friends. This is Steel Fairy, and today I have another guest, my friend Dom, or as you may know him on Twitch, TheXploder.
Yay! Self-proclaimed most explosive man of the planet, but we won't get into that.
Oh my. No, just kidding. So we're here to talk about Pokemon Sun and Moon, partially because there was a new trailer released today that got me really hyped. But I also want to talk about like some of the stuff that we've seen so far that is our favorites. We won't talk about everything that was revealed though, because that would you would be here forever. So, um, yeah. So, do you want to start off talking about today's trailer or just our favorite stuff?
I think we should cover today's trailer
Okay.
because there was some really good stuff in this
Yes.
trailer.
So today's trailer revealed some version exclusives, some returning features from X and Y, and two new Z moves that are exclusive to certain Pokemon. So the first version exclusive revealed was called Passimian, and it is exclusive to Pokemon Sun. Now, the first thing I thought when I saw this Pokemon, it's basically like a lemur, kind of lean down like it's gonna pass a football. Um, I kind of thought of King Julian from Madagascar.
Yes,
But like it's wearing a helmet kind of thing. It kind of looks like a melon, and I think the ball it's holding is a melon as well, which would
yeah.
be really funny because it's kind of like it's very protective of the melon and it will pass it to another Passimian.
See,
Kind of like the dodos in Ice Age.
I don't know about you. I'm just thinking of like the Passimian Olympics, where you have like all these trainers Passimians, and they're just doing like Passimian rugby, like a full-on American football or rugby team, just full of Passimians just trying to play the game. That would be amazing.
I
Or
mean,
like
oh, you know
a pos-
what? That would be cool if the Pokeathlon came back in Sun and Moon and they had different events like that.
oh yeah.
That would be so sweet. I
Um,
actually loved the Pokeathlon when it was in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I'm surprised that they didn't put it in later installments of the games, but what are you gonna do?
it would make sense to bring it back.
Yeah, yeah, it does, but you know, I kind of wonder why they didn't bring that back and why they didn't bring back the whole like Pokemon following you thing, but I guess the Pokemon following you would be hard with the 3D games because they would have to render the models like in different sizes all the time behind you.
Oh yeah.
So I could see how like hardware limitations would be a thing for that, but they do have something similar now, and that's the uh, riding different Pokemon. In X and Y, we only had like three different Pokemon you could ride,
Yeah.
whereas here it's like in the trailers they showed like what, like 10?
Yeah, like 10 different guys, which is really impressive. And I think I was saying to you about this when that was revealed, when I said if they've done this for like mounted Pokemon when you're on the ground, I'd be very surprised if they haven't like opened up the amount of Pokemon that are actually modeled now when you activate Fly. Because I'm
Hmm.
hoping you'll actually get onto a Pidgeot or a Swellow or
Well, they did
an
show
actual get it.
Charizard being ridden,
Yes, yes, they did.
but I'm not sure if that's like a storyline thing or if you actually can use Fly that way, but I guess we'll
See,
find out.
I'm hoping two things of that. Number one, Fly has been expanded to a multitude of different Pokemon. And number two, I'm praying as much as Charizard showed up there, I'm praying that the Gen 1 starters don't come back as a hey look, you beat the game once, here's your reward thing. Because I don't know about you, I'd rather have Gen 2
Well,
because
didn't they
Cyndaquil, Totodile, and freaking Chikorita.
didn't they do that in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire?
Oh yeah, you got a point. Oh
Yeah,
god.
they gave you
Um,
Gen 2 when you beat that game, I believe.
give us Gen 3. then that'll make sense. Give us some of that mudkip.
I'm actually surprised that the Gen 2 starters didn't get Megas in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire because I was like, oh well, the Gen 1's got Megas, so it
I'm
is
hoping.
only natural. I don't know.
I'm really hoping because Mega Typhlosion would be
Yes,
amazing. He would literally be the Human Torch of Pokemon.
and the best name for a Mega ever, Mega Meganium.
Yes,
Mega Mega.
Mega Nagania.
But yeah. So we got off on a little tangent after Passimian, but I really think having Pokeathlon come back would be cool. Um, so the version exclusive monkey for Moon is Oranguru, and it's like an orangutan, but not orange. It's like white, and it wears like a little fur poncho thing.
It's
um,
amazing.
so its ability is inner focus and telepathy, and I just realized we forgot to talk about Passimian's ability, but we'll
Oh,
talk about them
Receiver.
both together. Um, so Passimian's ability receiver, basically what they showed in the trailer is when your partner gets knocked out, or if you're playing a Nuzlocke, dies, um,
Yeah.
Passimian will get the ability that the partner Pokemon had, which is pretty cool. So that ability doesn't really come in handy unless you're playing double battles. So that's unfortunate. But
Unless there's going to be an emphasis on double battles throughout
yeah, yeah,
Sun and Moon.
that would be cool because I love double battles. Like,
Oh yeah,
oh my
like
god.
I've always loved double battles. Like I've just never liked how they've been implemented because half the time double battles has been more of a pro Pokemon thing where you go off to these events and then you show off your skills against other people, which is all well and good and that's great.
Mhm.
But for us casual players, where we don't necessarily want to go to these events and do all the professional style stuff, and we just want to enjoy the game for what it brings to the table, there's in all the games, at least from what I've played, there's never been an abundance of double battles. Sure, we've had the gym in Gen 3 that allowed us to have a gym battle that was a double battle. That was really fun because you
Yeah,
had
that
the
was cool.
exactly because you had the synergy between brother and sister and Lunatone and Solrock, which was great. But you didn't really have anything else like that. Like, there's not a big now there may be an emphasis on double battles now with Team Skull and all their different unique characters and the well, what are they called again? Like the Omega Beasts,
Ultra Beasts.
the Ultra Beasts. That's it. Because I'm guessing now that the Ultra Beasts may team up on you, and then a double battle will ensue, and that makes more sense. So who knows? Maybe if there's more of a like duo battle or team battle scenario happening with Team Skull, it would make more sense. But
Yeah.
as of right now, unless they have that in, I don't think double battles will be as pleasant again, and I'm upset by this. Like, don't get me wrong, don't make every battle in the game double battles because then it becomes monotonous,
Yeah, yeah.
continuous, and nothing. It's not unique and it's not challenging anymore because now you can just say, "Oh, I have number one teams up with number two easily." Like with Persimian's ability as well, you can really abuse his ability if you have the team set up right,
Mhm.
especially in casual play, and swamp anything and everything that comes your way if you know what's happening.
Yeah, like
So
I can imagine a lot of people would probably run a rain dance swift swim team, so they'll be like, oh, that Pokemon has swift swim, so that's a threat, and then they knock it out right away, and then
yeah,
Passimian gets uh, the swift swim as well, and his speed rises, and you know.
and not just that. If we're also talking about the abilities, going back to Oranguru, with Oranguru's new move it can learn being Instruct. Instruct allows it to basically turn over to its partner Pokemon, so it's a duo battle thing again. But basically turns over to the duo partner and just goes, hey, you know that move you used last turn? I like it, do it again. So instead of Oranguru doing a damaging move or a stat increase decrease move, it's basically telling your partner to do that move again
So
in
you like
replace
hit
and
twice.
exactly.
Mega
And
Kangaskhan without Mega Kangaskhan.
I know, right? But they showed an example of this where it was okay, Oranguru has telepathy, so it doesn't get affected by surf.
Yes,
Let's use surf again. I don't get affected. They get hit. We've wiped their side. Good game.
I
That's
love that
Oranguru.
ability because it's like it can read what its partner is going to use and like brace itself so that it doesn't get affected by it. So
Exactly.
I wonder if it works for if your partner is using like a weather effect thing, like sandstorm. Probably not, but
That would be tough. It depends on what the move would be. Like, it would probably work on every single move in the game because you can imagine if someone, I don't know, if someone had Scary Face, you would get the double the effect of Scary Face. So instead of -2 to speed, now you have -4, which is huge.
oh, you're talking
Uh,
about instruct again.
well, yeah. Um, but I think Oranguru's ability being Instruct, which is an
No,
actual
no, no,
move
no.
you can learn.
Instruct is a move.
Yeah,
Its
that's what I meant.
ability is telepathy.
Yeah, so with Oranguru having a move which allows your partner to do the same thing again in a good situation, I think that's better than Persimmion's ability because it's a bit of a waste having one ability and that ability only being usable in duo battle. So now he doesn't really have a single battle alternative.
And you know what else? Um, him instructing you to use the same move again on the same turn could come in handy for low accuracy moves as well. So if you miss the first time, you can always
Try
have
it
that
again.
as a backup.
Yeah, and the great thing is, it comes out of Oranguru's uses of Instruct. It doesn't come out of the partner's use of, let's say, Fire Blast or Zap Cannon, where you only have 5 PP. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't use it. So you're basically getting another Ultra move for free.
Yep.
No brainer. Oranguru's better. Just putting it out there right now.
Yeah, at least competitively, he's better. I don't see myself using him on my in-game team,
Sure.
but I think they were showing off Passimian and Oranguru in like a competitive setting anyway. So, you know. Um, so the other version exclusives, it's basically the same Pokemon but in different forms. Rockruff evolutions, it evolves into Lycanroc, and in Sun version, it's kind of like this majestic wolf-looking Pokemon, and its ability is either Keen Eye or Sand Rush. Whereas in Moon version, um, Lycanroc kind of looks like a maroonish colored werewolf, and
Emo Dog.
yeah, emo dog.
But he turns emo, but in the good sense.
And its ability is either Keen Eye or Vital Spirit.
I've only
So,
just realized. I just had an epiphany.
mm-hmm.
I realized what the midnight form of Rockruff makes him look like.
What?
It makes Lycanroc, bloody hell, that's a bit of a tongue twister when you're trying to name it properly.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes Lycanroc look like Iori from King of Fighters because he has the exact same Iori hairstyle, the exact same stance and fighting style like Iori. And now that I realize that, I love him that much more.
I got kind of a Crash Bandicoot feel from him with the way he was standing and
Yeah, I
the
can
size of
feel
his
that.
paws and stuff. What I'm wondering is since they're version exclusives, does that mean that they will learn different moves or the same moves? Because to me, it looks like the Midnight form, the werewolf looking one, I think they showed off him using a fighting move in the trailer.
It
So,
looked like Revenge, if I'm not mistaken. Or
so
Counter?
I'm not sure, but since he's standing up on two legs, I could see him learning a lot more fighting moves, whereas with the daytime version, I could see it using a lot more like animalistic moves like crunch and
Yeah.
probably some rock moves like rock slide
Hmm.
for that stab. But I don't
Now,
know.
my idea is, and I'm very sorry for cutting you off at that moment. My idea was, so you have the midday version, but I think is going to be more special attack orientated, and
Mm,
midnight, I believe, is going to be more physical attack orientated
that makes
because
sense.
of their stances and how they would work. Like I can totally agree with where you're coming across, where the midday form would learn things more like bite, crunch, and those ones, while midnight form will probably learn like moves like brick break, shadow punch, and things like that, because that would definitely make sense. But it would also make sense to maybe have it so that, or maybe even have it so that midnight is the more attack orientated one because it's standing upright and has more use of its fist, while the midday form is more defensive because it's on all fours and can brace for attacks better.
Or it could be that the midnight form is more has better attack stat, and the day form has better defense stat.
Could be,
But
could be.
who knows? Who knows?
It's all up for debate at this point, but that's why we're having this video. So there you go.
Yeah. We're just speculating because nothing's really 100% right now, unless it says it on their website.
That is a good point.
I will have to find it. But
Well, whilst you're finding it, I will definitely say that I'm happy, but fashion is coming back.
yes,
Fashion.
that was the next thing we were going to talk about is the returning features from X and Y. So, character customization is back, and it looks like there are a lot more options for hair and eye color because I'm pretty sure you couldn't have white hair in X and Y, but it showed white pigtails in the trailer, which I'm excited about because I love white hair.
So we know what your character's going to change to be like.
Well, I mean, I might do pink if they have it. Because, like, in X and Y, they had, like, all the different natural hair colors, but it looks like in this one they're trying to branch out a little more into some more alternative fashion styles. Because, I mean, come on, this game is made in Japan, and if there's one place that is, like, so into alternative fashion, it's Japan.
True.
Just saying.
It's out there.
Um, so yeah, I would be excited to see some crazy hair colors in there. And then they showed off changing your eye color with contacts, and
Yeah,
um, I'm definitely sure that there's more options in this game because I'm pretty
sure.
sure burgundy was not an option in X and Y, but they showed it off in the trailer. So
I'm really happy to see that stuff. If anything, I'm crossing my fingers. As much as it's going to be based in Hawaii, and so the chances of this happening could be quite low, because I know how this character's attire is, and it's very contrast to what Hawaii is like with the nice breezy shirts and whatnot. But they did show with the female model that you are going to get like leggings and stuff, so I'm hoping it might be a possibility. Crossing fingers that I might be able to make my character look like Jotaro Kujo from JoJo. Because it would make sense. Because with the Z moves, you've got poses, and who poses better than a JoJo character? No one poses better like a JoJo character. Debatably Sailor Moon, but Sailor Moon took it from JoJo. So, yeah, I'm hoping.
that's right,
Even if,
JoJo did come first, didn't it?
yes. So I'm hoping, even if it's just Jotaro's hat. Just give me Jotaro's hat where you don't know where the hat ends and the hair begins. Give me that, and I'm happy. Because that would make sense. But come on, give me JoJo pose capabilities. Even if I look like Joseph or Caesar from part two, I don't care. Just give it. I know you can do this, Pokemon. You're giving me JoJo poses. Go full hog, please.
Okay, I'm trying to navigate their website to find out about stats and stuff, but it doesn't like say anything about
No.
stats. It's just like, here's the new Pokemon for the game and their names and abilities, and that's like it.
Lovely.
Okay, thanks.
We're turning you nothing.
But yeah. So I am excited about being able to customize characters again because I really loved that feature in X and Y, and I probably spent like so much in-game money on clothes.
Yeah.
But yeah. Another returning feature is it's basically a Pokemon Me equivalent called Pokemon Refresh, and it looks like you can do a lot more with it than you could in Pokemon Me. I'm pretty sure it showed like you could bathe your Pokemon and brush them, and you can feed them things other than just Pokepuffs. Because I think that Pikachu was like eating a berry or something in
It looked
the
like an
trailer.
apple. Like it looked like a proper
Don't be
apple.
silly. Apples don't exist in Pokemon.
Hey, fish ain't supposed to exist, but then we saw fish in the show.
I don't know. Is there a berry equivalent for apple? Because I know there's like tomato berry and pecha berry and like all these like equivalents to real life.
I don't know, actually.
I don't know.
Be-
Someone in the comments will tell us. Is there a
Yep.
berry that is an apple? Also, another fun fact Pikachu loves ketchup but hates tomato berries. Logic.
Wow. Way to go, Pikachu.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But
Maybe,
anyway,
maybe, maybe it's because he likes it because it's condensed into a liquid.
I don't know. To be fair, ketchup is a lot sweeter than tomatoes,
Yeah.
so eh. Um, but the most interesting thing about Pokemon Refresh is it looked like in the trailer that Eevee was inflicted with a status effect being paralysis because I saw little sparks like
Yeah.
surrounding it, and then they like brushed the Eevee's fur or something, and the static went away. And I was like, oh my god, are you able to cure status effects in Pokemon Refresh without having to use an item? Because that would be so cool.
Because now it would make sense as well because it gives you an out of battle alternative so that you
Mm-hmm.
can keep your awakenings, your burn heals, and all those things for when you actually go into battle. So you can
Yes, I can
save your
imagine
awakenings.
like giving your Pokemon a bath would heal like burn.
Yeah,
I don't see anything being able to cure poison unless you fed them a berry or something in Pokemon Refresh because like it's poison. What are
I
you
don't
gonna
know.
do?
Maybe you give them a porta potty, just tell them to have a poop, get out of it that way. Like, but what I'm thinking
This
is,
is Pokemon, not Nintendogs. They're not gonna
hey,
show the Pokemon taking a crap.
hey, they did it in Digimon. That's what I'm saying. Oh
Oh
no,
man.
bringing up Digimon in a Pokemon video. Blasphemy. I'm so mean.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
what I want out of my Pokemon game. I totally want to
more
pick up their
Digimon.
crap.
But
Oh.
this is one thing I am interested with Pokemon Refresh. That definitely has me interested with can it cure ailments?
Mhm.
Or because that's an interesting thing.
I mean, I'm
The other
probably
thing,
going to use it all the time anyway because
yeah,
I just love the idea of being able to bathe and brush and feed and pet your Pokemon. It's
yep,
so cute. It's like having a pet.
like it's basically Nintendogs. It's Nin Pokemon. It's the thing we actually wanted to do.
Nintendogs
Like do,
minus the not listening to your voice commands and having to pick up the poop and
yeah,
having to listen to the annoying barking.
good times.
Yeah, pretty
But
sure
I've got a
everyone's
question.
Nintendog is dead at this point.
But yeah, exactly. Right. Pokemon Refresh is a great idea. Is it because it's a more it's because it's an improvement on Pokemon and Me?
Hmm.
Does this mean it's replacing Pokemon and Me? Because you see the heart emblems come out whenever you're grooming, brushing,
I think it is
drying them off.
Pokemon just like renamed because for one thing, uh, X and Y was set in France basically, so a
Yeah,
me
so it
made
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, whereas in a Hawaii-based region, calling it that doesn't make as much sense. They should have called it a Hawaiian name instead of Pokemon Refresh, but oh well. Another returning feature, not
Oh,
returning from X
oh,
and Y,
okay.
but
Pause right there for a
okay.
sec. I'm very sorry. You gave me a fantastic idea of what they should have called it.
What?
A little bit of Lilo and Stitch moment, but they should have totally called it Pokemon. What was it again? Oh, I lost the word.
Ohana?
Ohana. Pokemon Ohana.
Pokemon family.
Because it makes sense. Because you're grooming your Pokemon because they're your family.
Aw, that's
Ca- cash,
adorable.
cash in on it, Nintendo, and if you do, give me some money. Uh,
No, then Disney would sue them. They'd be like, oh my god, you're stealing from us. Man, we can't have that.
eh.
It's not like we
Yes.
don't have enough money.
Oh no, I need more
But
money.
I wanted to talk about one more returning feature. It's not returning from X and Y, but it's basically Pokemon Snap in the new games. It's really cool. In one of the trailers, they showed that there's these certain locations where you can like look out at the nature scenery and like take pictures of Pokemon that are hanging around there. Which is kind of interesting because I feel like it would be a different Pokemon at different times of day, kind of like how in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if you entered an area, it would show a Pokemon at different times of the day. Like if you entered a cave during the day, it would show like Geodude, but if you entered at night, it would show Zubat kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more emphasis on the day-night cycle.
Mm-hmm. Which would be very fitting for Sun and Moon. But yeah, I am excited to take pictures of Pokemon, and it looks like you can like post them online and have people comment on them, kind of like in Wind Waker HD, where you could post the pictures that you took in that game on the Miiverse.
That'd be
So
good. That would be
I'm
good.
not sure where the pictures you take in Sun and Moon are going to be posted. Is there a Miiverse on 3DS?
I no, I don't think so. I think it would have to be their own little private servery thing that they'll do, like
Yeah,
what they do with the online battles and wonder trading. So it'll be like an extra option to just like
makes
post it
sense.
up.
So many memes will be made.
Or maybe it's directly attached to your like character's profile. So if someone was searching for who's online nearby and then they find you, they could go onto you, go onto your profile and see all the pictures that you've taken.
That would be cool.
So maybe they'll have a look at your own personal gallery, maybe.
So it looked like in that trailer where they were revealing the picture thing, at first they showed you taking a picture of Pikachu out in like this empty field thing. I feel like settings like that where it's just an open field or something, you just choose a Pokemon from your party to send out and take pictures of it. Whereas with the Dragonite flying around in that foresty area, that's more of like a natural taking a
Sure.
picture of wildlife thing. So, I mean, at least I'm hoping there's areas where you can take pictures of your party Pokemon because I will take like 500 pictures of Ampharos.
Yep. Yep, it's true.
Not even lying.
There will be at least five pictures of Ampharos for every playthrough.
Yep. Yep. I love Ampharos. I really do. Ampharos
I'm
is
not
my favorite.
well, I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably be taking many a selfie with coughing. So
Yes.
it's all good.
Oh, that would be so cool if you could take selfies with your Pokemon, considering you have character customization in this game.
I would love that. Like
So many
just
people would
grabbing
like
it.
try to be like twinning with their Pokemon.
Yes.
uh,
Oh,
the possibilities are endless.
good times.
Then I could really have white hair to kind of simulate Mega Ampharos's hairstyle.
Yeah, so it's like it's like you're both members of like a really old school like 80s rock band with like the long flowing hair and you're just rocking out.
Yes, because you're worth it. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so Yeah, that's all the returning features that I know of. There might be more, and I just don't remember them right now, but oh well. Um, so the last thing they revealed in this trailer today were new Pokemon Z moves that are exclusive to certain Pokemon. The first one was Pikachu, and it makes sense that Pikachu gets an exclusive Z move, number one, because he's the series mascot, and number two, because Alolan Raichu got an exclusive Z move, so makes
Yeah,
sense for Pikachu to get one. So it's
definitely.
called Catastropika, and it's really cute because it shows Pikachu like doing the dance and poses with you, and then he like jumps up into your arms and you like share a moment of like looking at each other like you're my best friend, and then the trainer like freaking throws Pikachu into battle like rah, you're going out there and doing this, and then
It was like, I
Pikachu
love you too,
explodes.
buddy. Now do the thing.
And Pikachu just explodes on the enemy Pokemon.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Still not my favorite Z move because that goes to Snorlax with the whole, hey Snorlax, guess what? Well, I'm trying to sleep. There's food on the table. What? Just wakes up, runs over, is like body slam.
Yes.
The
Pulverizing
best,
Pancake is amazing. I think
the best.
like with that one they were definitely going for more of a comedy aspect than the epicness of some other Z moves.
And it kind of makes sense as well because the whole point with the sprites of Snorlax over the years is that he gradually stands up.
Mhm.
And they're making the big joke of it now where it's okay, now the Z move doesn't just get him to stand up, it gets him to want to friggin' slam someone.
He like books it over there. He sprints and was like, "Okay, time to die."
Like he literally has that look in him as if it's like from an anime where you've just like said like one of his like greatest ideas was terrible, and he's like, "Nani?" and charge at you down the hallway.
I just love how they made it canon from the anime that when Snorlax opens its eyes that they glow.
Yep.
That made me really happy because they showed it like once in the anime, and I thought that was a cool idea because like shooting beams out your eyes. But the other Z move shown off today, if I can speak English, was for Eevee, and it's called Extreme Evo Boost. And with Pikachu's, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, it makes sense for him to get a Z move. But when I saw Eevee's, I like started crying. I was like, oh my god, because
The
it's so
best.
cute. Eevee like jumps up on your head and then like summons all of the evolutions, and
Get the family together.
the evolutions all lend their power to Eevee, and then Eevee gets a stat boost to each stat, and I was like freaking out when I saw that because it's literally like in Sailor Moon Super S when she does the crisis makeup for the first time, and all of the Sailor Senshi are lending their power to her because like
Yeah.
it's literally all the evolutions, and they all like get up and surround Eevee, and they have their different colored auras come down onto Eevee, and Eevee just sucks them all up and gets so much power. I can see people trying to run Eviolite Eevee now with that Z move.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
But yeah, because of that, when I get Eevee in Moon version, I'm totally nicknaming it Usagi because it's just perfect with that Z move.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. The thing that had me with the Z move as well was that it kind of had. It was kind of as if Nintendo and the Pokemon Company took some inspiration from Smash Bros. Because now I've looked back at it a few times now, and every time I look back at it, I just think of Mega Man's final Smash, where
Yeah,
he brings in the other Mega Men, and we just have one gigantic laser fest to wipe the map.
yeah, it is kind of like that.
But it's kind of like the instead of let's get a family together and blast these guys, it's let's get a family together, make myself mega powerful so I can take down the guys.
Mhm.
It is, as you said, it's the Super Senshi, Super Sentai thing where it's like, oh no, My friends are in danger. I'm the only one that can fight. I need the power, and then just give me all of your energy, please.
Yeah, yeah.
But as I said to you before we were recording this, I was a little bit upset. Only a little bit. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, we're talking zero point 0.5 of upset because this entire Z move is amazing. The only thing that would have made it even better was if after Evie absorbs all the power from all the family members, Evie turns into like the adult form Evie, where it looks super fabulous, mega powered, stat boosts across the board, is
Yeah.
ready for a fight, and it looks gorgeous doing it. And then
Like
after the fight,
literally a
press that.
transformation, then it would be
Yeah,
exactly like Sailor Moon.
like even make it yeah, all you got to do is make it more looking more of an adult, so increase the size to that of like Espeon, Umbreon, and all those levels, and then just make it so that the white scarfy thing it has around its neck just gets extended a little bit more, so it's more like a Froakie scarf,
hmm
and
I
then it will look
mean,
beautiful. That's all you need to do.
um, I think like the ear shape should be changed a little bit and like the tail made longer or something. Just like little things, little subtle things to make it look more adult. And obviously the eye shape needs to be changed too because Eevee's eyes are very much like base Pokemon form shape. Like all the
Yes.
evolutions, the eyes kind of get narrower and have more of an almond shape, whereas Eevee's eyes are really, really round. So if it just got like that same eye shape and then a few subtle changes to its fur and stuff, like, I don't know. I think that would have been cool for it to actually transform, but then, since it's just stat changes and it still stays there for the rest of the battle, it doesn't make as much sense for that to happen because all the other Z moves are just like this one animation thing. Like after the Z move gets used, Snorlax is gonna go back to sleep, basically.
Yeah.
Um, but so like having Eevee stay in that adult state for the rest of the battle, I don't know.
It's it's a good Z move and it works well for Eevee and the Eevee family.
Mhm.
I just don't see its use on the grand scale in comparison to some of the other Z moves because all the other Z moves up to this point have all been mega damaging, hugely impactful, or very hilarious
Mhm.
attacks. And that's the word here, attacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Eevee Z move has raised the idea that not just attacking Z moves will exist, so you'll have support Z moves, which is what this more is.
Mhm.
I'm very much interested as to whether other pokes will have Z moves that are more support style, like I don't know, maybe Aegislas's Z move would be where it just creates a gigantic shield that boosts the defense of all partner Pokemon that you have on your side, where it's
Yeah.
like a mega barrier. So it lasts for 5 turns. It gives you mega defense boost, and then after those 5 turns, it will magically vanish.
That'd be
Um,
cool. But
but
the sad
again,
thing about the EVZ move is that it looks like we're not going to get another evolution for these games.
which is upsetting.
Yeah, I really wanted a dragon type evolution. I really did.
Yeah,
Cuz
we
like
were.
the theme for all the evolutions is that they get released in like pairs where one is super effective against the other. So I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh, fairy type evolution. Well, we already have a dark type and we already have a fire type, we would either get a dragon type or a steel type. And considering, fairy is a
yeah.
mythical thing, I was like, okay, dragon makes the most sense to get
I,
released.
the thing is, I didn't know about you. I was kind of because I'm a bit biased when it comes to the Pokemon typings. I was kind of loving the whole poison type thing going on.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Poison
Poison
would be.
Eevee would have been amazing. I would cash in on that instantly. All my money.
I
Like
just
make it
thought
so
with
that
like the
like
theme, dragon would make the most sense because fairy
Dragon
is
would be
mythical.
amazing.
But we're not getting anything, sadly.
We can always hope for the next gen, which there will happen.
Oh yeah,
But
they're making way too much money to stop making Pokemon games
oh yeah,
anytime
when
soon.
when we hit the mark of 2,000 Pokemon, by that point we should at least have another evolution.
Yeah, I should hope so.
Because by the time we've got all the typings done, Eevee will have an evolution for all typings that requires specific evolution methods for each one.
Mhm.
And then it's going to be the only hard part is it's going to be really bloody difficult at some point to get the one you need because then it's like okay, Leafeon, I need the stone in this area to do that. Like the originals are going to be okay, but
Yeah.
then it's going to be like okay, Umbreon and Espeon you need to do it through day and night time. This guy you got to do this guy. This guy's got to do this. I can imagine the poison typing being something stupid, like
Well, no, no, no. Poison type, I can imagine you have to trade Eevee holding Black Sludge or something.
I don't want to trade it. That's the point.
Well, you
That's the
get it
problem I have.
back.
What if they don't give it back? What if it's a wonder trade?
You could just trade with me and I'll give it right back.
Okay, well that's fair enough because we kind of just so you guys have this in
And
perspective as well.
steel type, you could trade it holding the metal coat like you
That
do for
makes sense.
Steelix and oh god, I'm having a brain fart.
Of Sizzle.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I only know that because of my charity streams where I totally caught a Sizzle and it died 5 minutes later.
Oh no.
But I'll leave that for highlights on my channel because it gets emotional. I like very emotional.
Well, since you're in this video, I'm going to have a link to your channel in the description anyway, so you can check out that highlights reel.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, for a dragon type evolution, I can't imagine what you would do to evolve. Maybe something involving the dragon talon or claw or whatever it's called. The thing that raises the power of dragon type moves.
Yeah. Or give it or like yeah, dragon scale.
Yeah, that. Why did I
Give it
say
that.
talon? Been
Well,
playing too much Snakewood.
or you could have it so that if there was a specific area or that's a point. This is a point. A flying type or a dragon type EV where the stipulation for evolving it is that it has to hit a certain level threshold at any point during day or night, but you have to be at a specific altitude. So you have to be in a mountainous region for
Hmm.
it to either go at like flying type or dragon type. So if it's an actual mountain that you've climbed up, dragon type would make more sense. If it's like a hilltop, it's more flying type because it's more open.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
then that'll mean the mechanics of the game have to improve tremendously. Boy. So it'll detect day and night cycles and also detect altitude.
Yeah. Maybe next
But then that
generation.
could open up to a lot more because then you could have a Pokemon where if you dived into deep water whilst they were hitting a certain level threshold, then they would evolve into a deep version of the Pokemon instead of a regular alternative of that Pokemon.
Well, we already
See,
have a water type.
I'm already spending ideas here. Yo, altitude, do it.
Altitude forms. Then they like since we already have a water type Pokemon, it wouldn't work for Eevee, but um, we could do the dragon type thing where if it's on the mountain, it would evolve. But for that, the whole altitude thing, um, they would have to make a Pokemon or two for that generation that would evolve into a different form based on whether you're
Yeah,
diving or up on a mountain kind of thing.
because it would also make sense for evolution in general, and that's what the Pokemon series is derived around.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you look at the Alolan forms of these Pokemon that have come out recently, because
Yes.
the Alolan forms have adapted themselves to the climate of the different islands.
Mm-hmm.
If you melded that to altitude differentiation, then then you can have specific differences of Pokemon. Or let's say, for example, I have let's see. Let's say I have a coughing. Let's just get straight in there with my favorite boy. If I have a coughing and I'm training him up in a regular place and he evolves into a wheezing, that's grand. He's a wheezing now. He can cough all day, cough all night, and make you feel terrible, but it's great because he's wheezing. But let's say if if I was underwater with a coughing and he happened to evolve into that threshold where he would turn into a wheezing, then all of a sudden wheezing is now poison water type and is able to use things like hydro pump and octazooka. Whilst if he was above that altitude, he would turn into like either poison rock type, poison ground type, even poison flying, poison dragon type, and be able to use moves along that side of things because of the higher altitude that it evolved at. So now you can have like not necessarily different Pokemon themselves, like potentially having the one I'm hoping, which is wheezing turning into puking or something like that. Uh, but more along the lines of you have Alolan forms, but maybe in future gens having the altitude affect you potentially getting those Alola forms. So now it's
Hmm.
depending on area, it's depending on whether you're above or below ground. It makes more sense. And it makes more sense as well. I know I'm yabbering on a bit. It makes more sense as well for those people out there that want to become proper Pokemon breeders, because that's what breeding's all about. It's about going to different places and evolving things in certain ways so that it gains traits that carry on down the family. So it can make breeding a lot more dynamic as well. So you can have like a poison fire type wheezing mating with a poison water type wheezing to then make a baby coughing that has fire blast and hydro pump upon hatch.
Oh my god.
Think about
Well,
that.
like back a while back, somebody kind of like leaked possible Alolan forms, and Weezing is supposed to get a fire type Alolan form anyway, which makes
Volcanic
sense
wheezing.
because yeah, volcanic
Oh yeah.
region. But so yeah, speaking of Alolan forms, we should talk about some of our favorite that have been officially revealed.
Yes. Yes, the official ones.
Because
I
there
think we
are
can start
lots
with
that I
Psychic.
like that have not been officially revealed, but have been
Yes.
like kind of hinted at slash leaked.
Yes. And I think we can both gladly say that we are in full support and in full love of Vulpix and Ninetales.
Yes, yes, I
Best
love it.
choice.
Ever since Fairy type was revealed in X and Y, I had been hoping that we would get a Ice Fairy type, and now we have one.
And it's Vulpix of all things. Like, it's
Well, no,
perfect.
Vulpix is just pure ice, and then when it evolves into
Ninetales is,
Ninetales.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's still perfect. Like, bring
Mhm.
back a Gen 1 guy, adapt him to the climate, give him a typing that's new. You've basically got a new Pokemon.
Mhm.
It's great. I love the designs of them. They look amazing.
They're gorgeous. I love them. I'm
I
totally
have
gonna
to
use
admit,
one on my team.
I've got a bit of a soft spot for one of my boys back in original Gen, Sandshrew and Sandslash going ice.
Mhm.
And Sandshrew looks adorable with his little igloo shell.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Sanchu's
so
always looked
cute.
adorable though.
I kind of now want to do an Eviolite Sandshrew build so he can stay in his igloo form but be insanely tanky.
um, Another one I really like is Alolan Raichu. How it's
Yeah.
like surfing on its tail. It's
He's just
adorable.
such a fun Alolan form.
Mhm.
And like I've heard all these people complain saying, "Why is he surfing on his tail? Why did Raichu have to get me a Alolan form?" And I'm
Because
like,
surfing Pikachu is a thing.
yeah, it's a homage to Surfing Pikachu, and it makes sense to do that with Raichu and not Pikachu because Raichu has the bigger tail and is able to surf upon that tail.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, the design works as well for Hawaii because it's kind of like Raichu got a tan, went a little bit Samoan, and now he's surfing for a living. It's great. It works.
Plus, it has a really cool typing, being electric psychic. So it's like kind of levitating, surfing on its tail.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What were the other ones we got actually that were official?
We got Executor, which I don't really like.
Mm.
um,
I don't get me wrong. It makes sense for you to turn the tropical tree into the long neck tropical tree, but no, too
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, I agree. So many memes were made about it.
I know. I love Executor as much as the other guy. Hell, there's if you've been catching my charity streams, we recently caught an Executor the other day, and I was like, yes, Executor. Then the Alolan form is just upsetting.
See,
Like,
I'm the opposite. I really hate Executor, like with a passion.
ooh, ooh.
Execute is probably my least favorite Gen 1 Pokemon because it looks stupid. Its
You
moves are
don't like making
stupid.
omelets?
I hate the design and the
But the
concept, and
execute! Ah!
its moves are terrible, and I hate Executor because in Gen 1 it was stupid to try to kill,
Yep. It was like the tanky beast.
and it had stupid moves like Barrage, which I hate. So I don't like Executor. So I will not
Yeah.
be using its Alolan form.
I'll see his Alolan form. I'll like it for like 5 seconds, and then I'll immediately put him back in the box. And then it'll just be that Pokemon where you go through your box and it's like, oh yeah, I have you. Next.
Mm-hmm. Um, Another one we got was Alolan Rattata and Raticate.
I'm in love with this. I really, really love this.
Uh,
It's the
it's
whole
okay.
idea that Rattatar's got that whole like evil mustache going on,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
love it.
It's like supposed to be based on like the old style for Japanese thieves that you would see in cartoons and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, like the way they would tie their sacks around them.
yeah, and oh, I just love it. It's the Rattata looks better than the Raticate in my opinion.
Yeah, but I do like the little backstory on Alolan Raticate, how its taste buds are so good that they use it in restaurants to
Yeah,
taste test new food. I'm like, oh, so it's Ratatouille.
pretty much.
um,
That's fun.
Another one we got was Alolan Meowth,
Uh,
which is a normal dark type, I think, which makes sense for Meowth.
True, but I think out of all the Alolan forms, I think this is the one Alolan form I just can't get behind. I don't like the style. I don't like the typing. I understand why Meowth looks as sassy as it is, because if you look at the backstory of it and it's tied to the royal families of the islands, so of course it would make sense if it was more regal, more sass behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's too much sass, not enough gentleman. That's what I'm talking about with this. Way too much sass going on. If you're prissy, you've got a gentlemanly edge about you. You don't like as if it's like if you have a claw attack with that version of Meow, for example, I would expect that version to have like gone one paw behind the back, other paw, light scratch across the face, as if to go, "Oh, you're not worthy to have both my claws." That kind of sass. Not the kind of sass where it's like, "I'm so pretty, I'm so pretty." No, no. If you're that pretty, be normal fairy type and make all of us happy. Be the prissy Persian we all want you to be. But I don't get it. I'm just not behind the cat.
Fair enough.
Just like I'm
Um,
not behind the starter cat, but that's a different story.
are you behind the Alolan Marowak?
I love this idea. I really love this idea. It focuses on the whole Cubone's mum angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the typing. I think Ghost Fire type works really solid. But with Marowak of all things, that changes Marowak a lot. Going from I believe, if I'm not mistaken, regular Marowak was just ground type.
Mm-hmm.
So completely changing that to two typings it never had.
Well, the
Well,
reason for it, um, according to the official site, the backstory of Alolan Marowak is that it changed its typing in order to not be hunted by certain Pokemon anymore because regular Marowak is like weak to grass, so it gained that fire type so that it could, you know, fight off grass types and stuff. Um, I forget where the ghost type part came in though, but
you could debate this with the fire dancers from Hawaii because they do the fire dances in order to ward off evil spirits using the flames. So I guess it's to combine the element of you're fending off evil spirits by like using the fire, which is fire type, and then you got the ghost typing because you're kind of there yourself, but you're the good kind of ghost, not the bad kind of ghost. So
hmm,
he's Mal. Basically, this new Malwek is pretty much the Pokemon's equivalent of a Ghostbuster.
ha.
It just
Um,
comes out with its dual, like its bow with dual like flames on it, spinning it around, doing crazy stuff. It's like I ain't afraid of no ghosts, and then just smacks a Ghastly in the face with it.
I'm trying to remember some of the other Alolan forms, but I'm drawing a bit of a blank here. I can remember a bunch of the ones that weren't officially announced though.
Yeah,
Um, like we're supposed to get an Alolan Arcanine that's water type, which looks pretty cool. Um, I already talked about the Alolan Weezing we're supposed to get. We're supposed to get an Alolan Muck.
yeah.
Um, just like all these different things. But yeah, the only one I'm really not that excited about is like not super excited about Alolan Rattata and Raticate because I never really used them on my team in other games. And
Fair enough.
Alolan Exeggutor, I'm just like, eh. And it's
Yeah,
Grass Dragon type too, which like makes me feel like they're trying to make Mega Sceptile irrelevant, and that makes me mad because I love Sceptile.
yeah.
So,
I'm not going to say a thing on that topic. You know my thoughts on Sceptile. And I know if I say anything about Sceptile in this video, you may never hear from me ever again.
dun dun dun. But I love Sceptile, so I'm gonna use Sceptile, Mega Sceptile for Grass Dragon type. I don't need no stupid Exeggutor, which
I don't need
looks
no
dumb.
palm trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Palm tree, more like face palm. Am I right? Am I right? Of course.
So, what's your favorite thing that you've seen so far in all these trailers?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the favorite thing that I am just really digging about Sun and Moon is just the setting this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like, now this is a bit of a personal thing for me. When Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby came out, and in case anyone didn't read it, the original IGN review of it, where they marked it down under the grounds that it had too much water, which number one is ridiculous, and number two, they obviously didn't play the original, so go
Yeah.
beast. Now, as a part of me is just thinking IGN ain't gonna like this game. There's even more water between four islands. Haha. Um, but in all honesty, this setting is just gorgeous. I love the setting for all the Pokemon games. Even though like the first couple of gens were very basic, and then they started really expanding it with I would say like Diamond and Pearl, X and Y, Black and White. But this time round, they've really pushed it. Going to the inspiration being from Hawaii looks gorgeous with the Pokemon aesthetic. It just looks great. The whole idea where they're adding in like Hawaiian style inspirations into like battles where you have to prove yourself to the island before you can move on to the next island, or you have to fight the defender of that island before moving on. It's
Yeah, I
it's
like the whole island challenges and totem Pokemon idea.
yeah. It very much encompasses the idea that the story this time around isn't going to be necessarily your stereotypical. Here's your starter. There's the Elite Four. Go become the best in the world. Now it's going to be more of like character driven and more along the lines of a hero's journey, where you start off in the beginning where you're very basic. You got your starter Pokemon and you're thinking to yourself, I have the potential, but I'm not too sure where my potential is. And then by the time you reach the Elite Four, after you've gone through all the islands, you've combated against Team Skull, you've gone against all the island defenders and what the actual story has on offer. You go through the Elite Four and you'll think to yourself, I've gone from the kid that didn't know his potential to the trainer that has unlocked the full potential and has that gratifying feeling of you are the best because you've gone through the full curve instead of going half curve or quarter curve and then saying, well, you're the best now. And I really enjoy that from a guy that writes stories and focuses a lot on stories on video games and all that jazz. I'm just loving how their narrative approach this time round is very huge, and I'm in love with it. And if anything, if you want a perfect example as to where their narrative this time around seems to be getting a lot of inspiration, have a look at Delta episode from Omega, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby,
Mhm.
because that is a perfect example of taking a perfectly simple Pokemon game and expanding the plot in a very deep way that gets you really immersed really easily, that
Mhm.
keeps you immersed throughout. And that's
Yeah.
something they're really going to focus on from now on. And I love it. I just
Yeah,
love it.
I kind of noticed Pokemon sort of like taking a darker turn with their storylines since like well, I guess Generation 4 was kind of dark, but I liked the story in Gen 5 a lot because they kind of touched on the idea of, making Pokemon fight each other. Is it right or is it wrong? And
Yeah,
then it was like, well, they choose to fight with us, and, it helps us bond and it helps them grow and blah, blah, blah. And then with Gen 6, I did like the whole story with AZ.
yeah,
That was cool. I was super mad when he did not turn out to be the champion. He should have been the
yes,
champion of the region. I was so mad about that. Um, then with the Delta episode in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it was like kind of explaining why the remakes are different than the originals with like the Mega Evolution and everything. It's like, oh, well, there are parallel worlds, and maybe in that other world, Mega Evolution doesn't exist. And,
yeah.
that kind of thing is really cool. Um,
It explains, it kind of pseudo explains why you can now use the Pokemon Bank in the digital versions of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow to bring Pokemon up to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire ready for Sun and Moon.
mm-hmm.
And they call it the link cable in Delta episode, but I'm going off because I want
Yeah,
to
I
hear what
thought that
you
was
love.
cool.
I want to hear what you love.
But in Sun and Moon, like I feel like the story is also going to be a little dark with the Ultra Beasts and Team Skull, and there's like a rumor that the characters with blonde hair and green eyes are all of the Ultra Beasts, which makes sense because Lily looks like the jellyfish Ultra Beast, UB01, I think, and
Yeah.
then um, that one chick, I always forget her name, the leader of that kind of like Pokemon Preservation Society thing.
Oh
I
yeah.
forget her name, but she looks like UB02 Beauty. Um, Everyone's trying to say that the Sasuke looking guy from Team Skull is UB02, um, what's it called? Like, expansion or something? But I
I
don't
think
think
so.
that's true. I think the UB02 different forms are the same person,
Yeah,
just like in different forms. Like Beauty
like
is
just in
her like
like
trying to be like all graceful and stuff, but then when she
yeah,
gets pissed off, she transforms into that big buff mosquito thing.
because that would make sense when it's tied to your emotions, which also kind of plays along with like Ash. What was it? Yeah, Ash Greninja from the show.
Hmm.
Because depending on their emotional wavelengths, it depends on whether it works well or it doesn't work well. So it could be tying the idea that the Ultra Beasts, like it's kind of like humans molded with Pokemon DNA, where their emotions can decide who or what they turn into.
Well, I also think that it's the same person slash Ultra Beast because I feel like she kind of has a dark side to her, being the leader of that Pokemon Preservation Society. Because the theory is that she's like the mother or older sister to the other two, and the other two
Yeah.
left because they were performing these experiments on them to turn them into these Ultra Beasts, and the
Hmm.
kids didn't like that. So one
See,
left to
this
kind of
leaves me with
wander,
an
and the other
interesting
one
idea.
left to join Team Skull.
Yeah, this this leaves me with a very interesting idea now, and whether they're going to go down a route they may go down. Because Pokemon Preservation Society immediately makes me think of Team Flare from X and Y. Under the grounds they wanted to reset the universe in order to make sure that Pokemon were preserved.
Well, that's
Now,
not what the society is called. I forget what it's called. Aether. Aether. That's what it's called. It's like
hmm,
Aether. So, I'm gonna look up what that word means to see if it will provide some insight.
because my idea is because of this preservation society and the idealism of Team Flare, it'll be interesting as to whether this is a continuation from the leadership of Team Flare moving down to the next generation, and the next generation thinking we can preserve Pokemon in a different way. This is how, and that's how you have the dismemberment between the family, where one of them believes that you can preserve Pokemon in one way, while the others believe experimentation is wrong, you shouldn't do it. And so they just go off into their own way of doing things.
Well,
Because suppose,
the definition of Aether kind of like pretty much. Bless you. The definition of Aether kind of pretty much confirms the whole they are the Ultra Beast theory because here's what Wikipedia says about it. According to ancient and medieval science, Aether, also spelled blah blah blah, can't read Greek, also called quintessence, is the material that fills the region of the universe above the terrestrial sphere. The
right,
concept of aether was used in several theories to explain several natural phenomena, such as the traveling of light and gravity. In the late 19th century, physicists postulated that aether permeated all throughout space, providing a medium through which light could travel in a vacuum, but evidence for the presence of such a medium was not found in the Michelson-Morley experiment. So, in that trailer where they revealed the two forms of UB02, where it pops out of that little light tunnel thing, that is aether.
yeah,
So, there you go.
it makes sense.
I still think the UB02 is just that girl in two different forms, and that they haven't revealed the Sasuke guy
Yeah,
UB03 yet. Because it doesn't make sense to just have two.
sure, sure.
I mean, if you think about it, I think the Ultra Beasts are going to be this region's legendary trio, so there
That
has
would
to
be
be a
interesting, yeah.
UB03.
I'm game for that.
But, yeah, I also think it's interesting how UB02 has a different form in version exclusive kind of thing, because the expansion or whatever form is exclusive to Sun, and the beauty form is exclusive to Moon.
Hmm.
So she transforms into a different one based on the story of the different versions.
Yes.
But
Very interesting
I
indeed.
did watch somebody else talk about that trailer where they revealed those two forms, and he pointed out that the cutscene for both it happened at nighttime in both versions. So
Right.
no matter which version you have, that cutscene will happen at night, which is interesting considering the whole 12 hours difference thing.
Yeah. Huh.
So maybe what form she turns into is based on the in-game clock. I don't know.
I'm sure we'll find out as time comes by.
Yeah, but I'm still waiting for UB03 to be announced because I am almost certain that that Sasuke looking guy from Team Skull is not the expansion form. I am almost certain that it's the same person.
Yeah.
So, because it doesn't make sense to have the chick be exclusive to Moon and the guy be exclusive to Sun. It because they're in both games.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know, but that's
And
just me.
it's gonna be like Team Aqua, Team Magma style, where you specifically fight only one of them, but the other one's there anyway.
Hmm.
So like they both have their own agendas, but you're stopping one of their agendas while the other one's more like, oh, you've stopped them. Oh, okay, that's fine.
That would be an interesting concept where in one game you're trying to beat Team Skull, on the other you're trying to beat the Aether Foundation. Wouldn't it be cool if they gave you the option to like join up with one of the teams?
Dude, yes, yes.
That would be cool. But
Or man, you know what the best reveal would be? If they reveal that like like you're about to take down the Ava dudes because of their experimentations. And it's like, but my superiors are gonna be really mad if we don't get these results to them. It's like, but who are your superiors? Ta-da, ta-da, it's Team Rocket! Ah! Giovanni's back! That would blow my mind, but I would love every second of it. Because I don't know about you, I'm such a fanboy. I just want Team Rocket back. I don't like. I love the other teams, like Team Magma, Team Aqua. They were pretty great. Team Galactic were, nah.
yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
but and some of the other ones were okay. Like Team Flare redeemed it,
Oh no, I
and
hated Team Flare. They were like boring to me. They were so
oh yeah,
bland.
you got now to think about it.
Like Plasma
They
I
had
thought was really cool because they actually had a bit of a personality and
yeah,
like a reason for
exactly.
what they're doing, whereas Team Flare was
Plasma,
like,
yeah.
eh. I
I
think
think
most of that is because Team Flare's boss was kind of meh.
true.
I didn't
It
really like
was
Lysandra. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just
yeah,
trying to destroy the world for no reason.
true. But
Whereas,
like
like, at least for Galactic, Cyrus had sort of a psychopathic, like,
yeah,
reason for it.
he had that
He's like,
edge.
oh, well, emotions are imperfect. I'm a psychopath.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna get rid of everyone's emotions because bleh.
yeah, pretty much. But I don't know. I would love it if they just had a story where you have this new team, they're doing their own thing, and you realize they're a subsidiary to the big boss of Team Rocket, and it's just Giovanni just trying to take over the world again. It's like,
Honestly,
yes.
I can't see them doing that unless it was like the last Pokemon game they're ever gonna make.
Uh, all honesty, I'm putting this out there. Putting this out there. Nintendo, Pokemon Company, I know you've got something planned for NX. Give us a new Pokemon RPG with a true bigwigs, a Team Rocket, and you gotta beat up Team
Give
Rocket
us
again.
a new Pokemon Coliseum,
Yes,
please.
please.
Because I
Yes.
loved Coliseum and XD. I loved that you were part of the evil team in the
And it,
first one, and then in the second one, it's like the evil team was sort of dying out, but there's like a little, couple people who are still trying to keep it alive and keep the shadow Pokemon thing going. Bring back another Ore region game with the shadow Pokemon and the
oh, that'd
catching
be
them from other
fun.
trainers
Uh,
and Mirror B, please.
well, everyone needs more Mirror B. I
Yes.
can't get enough. Like hell, idea. If they've got a post-game Coliseum, which they should have in Sun and Moon, if they have a post-game tournament setting, one of the opponents you should go against should be Mirabee. End of. Just as a little homage. Like, cause what was it? Was it in am I right in saying it was X and Y where you had like the battle stadium where you could potentially go against Red?
No, that was in Black and White too, I think.
Because I want something like that back. Because then bring back Red. You can bring in Gold. You can bring in Silver. You can bring in Ash. And actually have Ash Ketchum in it as canon, which kind of splits up the dimensions thing.
With his
Yeah,
weird Greninja thing.
yeah. Then you can bring back Giovanni. You can have Jesse and James for the duo battles. You can have Lysander again from Team Flare. You can have all the major bigwigs from all the previous games. And even hell, bring back Green, bring back Brock, Misty, and all the others.
Yeah,
Because
they sort of did
all
that in
that,
Black and White too because you could battle like all of the gym leaders and
yeah,
champions from the other regions.
you can it's basically it's the legacy tournament. You can go back in. It's basically you got all this new age stuff, but go against the guys that made it. Go against the origins and work your way back up.
Mm.
If they bring something like that back in, I would as a because here's the thing, it made sense to bring it in then because I think it was close to the anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, and so it was kind of like a celebration of all the generations from the past.
Hmm.
But if they made that a staple for future Pokemon games, it would help as well because more and more new players are getting into the newer generations. And they may not understand or they may not know the stories of the older generations. They may not know about the rivalry between Red and Green. They may not know about Silver. They may not know about.
Well, I think that's why they're doing the Pokemon Generations anime
Yeah. But
to
if you
kind of
had.
like get them into it.
Yeah, but if you had it in game form, like not full on game, not full on blown games, we have the remasters for that. The
Hmm.
remaster. Or we have the digital re-releases because they're great and they're doing the job perfectly if you want to go back and relive the adventures for yourself.
Hmm.
I'm simply saying, give us a way to fight against these old school guys as a homage as well as a learning curve. Because I don't know about you, I would love to have a duo battle between Koga and Koga's daughter because they were both gym leaders of of my favorite gym in Gen 1, Gen 2. So I would love that duo battle. Just be ultimate poison team versus you.
Hmm.
Uh give it to me, please.
That'd be cool. But so I was trying to think of what my favorite thing revealed for Sun and Moon has been so far. And honestly, I've got to say it's probably just the visuals as a whole. The region looks really pretty in the gameplay that they showed us at E3, and the battle animations look really cool. All of the Z moves look amazing, and just even like subtle things like when the abilities go off and it has that little like paint smear go across the screen, that looks really
Yeah.
cool. Um, I love like the cutscenes that they showed us of the legendaries coming out with uh, the day cat, like running across the field, and then the night bat, like against the moon. Oh my god,
Yeah.
they were so beautiful. And then, um, like I said, with all of the Alolan forms, their like idle animations, they all look really cool, and I love the visuals, the new Pokemon designs, particularly um, that type null, I think it's called. That looks really cool. Um,
Sure. Yeah.
I love all of the new fairy type Pokemon that were revealed. They all look adorable. There's like a little lay one and a mosquito, and like I never thought I would say a mosquito is adorable, but that a mosquito is adorable.
Yeah.
So I'm really loving just the visual style of these games so far. They look really cool. Like at E3 when they were showing the gameplay and you were walking and like the wind was blowing through the grass, and when you started walking up the hill and the walking animation changed a little bit to like it actually looked like you were climbing upward. That was really cool too. So,
Yeah,
I'm hyped.
it's gonna be mega hype. Like my countdown started ages ago, but like the year's gone by pretty relatively fast already.
Mhm.
But like no, November's gonna come around before you know it, and
2
it,
months.
it'll be my game of November. It's gonna be hard for me because I'm gonna have to try and balance out Pokemon Moon because that's the version I'm gonna be getting because I'm a Moon boy.
Mhm.
I'm a Mooner. Um, I'm a Moomin, I guess. You could say that. So I'm going to have to try and balance out Pokemon Moon with WWE 2K17 and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 that come out the month before. So that's going to be my challenge. But I'll do it. I will do it because I want to make the Ultimate Poison team in Sun and Moon with the new Poison type as well. Because God, Poison Fire type, yes. Thank you, Lizard. Yes.
Yes, that is one of my favorite newly revealed Pokemon is that salamander that is fire poison type. It looks really cool.
I I saw it as soon as my mate said he's fire poison type. I just simply went, they know my feels. Oh, it's gonna be magical. I really can't wait.
See, that's the problem. I'm like obsessed with all the new fairy types being revealed, and you want to make a poison type team, so I'm gonna get wrecked. But anyway,
Is it? Yeah, we'll see what happens on launch.
mhm. I'm just excited to play and build a team around all the really cool new Pokemon that were revealed and the
True.
Alolan forms, and there's just a lot to choose from, and they all look really amazing except for like a couple that I'm kind of meh about. Like,
Yeah.
Alolan Exeggutor, meh. But yep. So anyway, I think we should wrap this up. We've been
Yes.
going on for quite a while.
Just a bit.
But as you can tell, we're both really excited about the game.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, can't wait for the games to come out in November, and I am also getting Moon version because I have already made a promise that I will nickname all of the Pokemon I catch after Sailor Moon references. It is a thing.
Because it makes sense.
And plus, I love the look of the legendary. I mean, it's so
So
gorgeous.
good.
So gorgeous. And
Oh.
the typing is interesting too. I
What was
mean,
it again? It was like psychic something?
Ghost.
Psychic ghost. So yeah.
Yes. I feel like it's gonna have an ability that makes dark type moves do neutral damage or just have it immune to dark type because otherwise it's gonna get wrecked by dark types with that typing.
Yeah.
So its ability has to kind of cover for that.
Yeah. We're not saying that if you're a fan of Mr. Iron Tiger that the Sun version is bad because hell, if you're into that thing, go way ahead. But I don't know about you. If you had a choice between amazingly beautiful Ghost Bat versus basically the White Tiger Zord, which one would you go for?
I
Like, don't
mean,
get me wrong, White Tiger Zord's pretty damn awesome, but elegant bat.
Lunala
It,
just has a really cool design. Its head is like a crescent moon and it has like a skeleton body
yep.
and wings that kind of look like space. They like sparkle and are all pretty. But I do like the Iron Cat, as you called him. I forget his name. It's Leo something.
Leo Senpai. That's what he's called now. He is Leo Senpai, the true White Tiger Zord.
I think he looks cool too. I just prefer Lunala because I'm really into purples and blues and silvers.
Eh,
So
pretty much same here.
yeah. But anyways, so thank you all for listening to us ramble on about Pokemon. Obviously, you can tell we are really excited.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you for joining me in this discussion video, Dom.
Ah, it's been absolutely fine. It's been great.
Yep. I love doing these discussion videos because we can kind of like speculate on things that happen. That's why I did one after E3 to kind of talk about stuff and expectations. I'm
Nice.
expecting to enjoy Sun and Moon a lot.
That is a good expectation. I joined that.
um,
It's especially for me getting really hyped because my Pokemon charity streams are still ongoing at this point, and it's mega fun. So it's getting me back in the zone.
cool. I expect to like these games more than X and Y. Don't get me wrong, I loved X and Y. I really liked how all the Pokemon looked with the 3D models and the character customization and everything. I just thought that the story was kind of weak.
Yeah,
So that's why I feel like I'm going to like this one more because it
I
looks like the
agree.
story is going to shape
Yeah,
up to be really good.
I will say though, as much as X and Y had a kind of weak story, one of the best Elite Fours. It's the personalities of those Elite Four
Except
members,
for the
man.
champion.
Well, except for the champion, of course, because we were
Yeah.
expecting someone else to be the champion, and we were just kind of shafted in the end. But all's hoping, Sun and Moon, keep the Elite Four great, fix your story, and for God's sake, make sure we get the right final champion fight.
Yes, please.
So we don't ask for much, apart from a lot.
Alright. Well, that about covers everything. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Say bye, Dom.
Au revoir.
Bye!